You notice that level on top. The reason being, we need to level this car in order to change the diff fluid. Okay, got car on ramps, backed it up on there, and we've got a natural higher elevation in the garage here, so we're using that to our advantage. That way when we jack the car on both sides, we don't have to do it as much because we're trying to get it level again. It's actually ended up being a better idea to put the level on the underside of the car. It helps if you have a magnetic one, and just do it on both sides, so on the same spot. So one here, and then go to the other side of the car, put it in the same spot, and you can see we have one jack there, and then we have the jack that came with the car over here. Alright, so that's pretty much level, and we've got the parking brake on, of course, and then you want the car to be at operating temperature too, so you want the differential fluid to be warm. That way it's going to flow out easier. This rear differential is cast iron. If you have a 2013 Dodge, usually it's most definitely going to be cast iron for the most part, especially if you have a V6. This is a 14mm hex plug. This is the fill plug. Go ahead and use a breaker bar and break that just to make sure you can get it out. That way, if you have any problems, you know, and it can't be taken out and you already empty out the fluid, then you're screwed. So just make sure you can get that out first. And then oh, by the way, this is the driver's side of the car. So going over to the passenger side, there's the drain plugs, also 14. Just break that with the breaker bar and let it drain. You know, you got your drain bucket there. Pretty easy peasy stuff. So when you get it close, just take the bit off the ratchet and just do it by hand. That way, when the fluid comes out, you can, you know, hopefully move your hand out faster than you would if the ratchet was on there. Like that. And you avoid spilling. Here you clean off both the plug and the fill plugs. Very good. Just use a flathead screwdriver or something to get in there in the threads and just clean it all out. We're going to use some blue Loctite, stick Loctite, so it's a medium strength. That should be fine. You really only need to do it on the drain plug, but you could do it on both. It's not going to be a big deal. So just do it on the threads that aren't rusted, obviously, because that's what goes in there. Drain plug back in, that way we can fill it. Don't worry about torquing it down yet. Just get it pretty tight. Not super tight though, because this is only 44 foot-pounds of torque, so you don't want to overdo it. Okay, we're going to be using Royal Purple Max Gear 75 weight 140, and this is what goes in the rear differential for rear wheel drive. Now that's what it looks like when you buy it, and then this thing right here is separate. So this is a fluid transfer pump, and I'll put a link for that, as well as this, and well as everything you're seeing in the video. So you don't need this, but it just makes it a whole lot easier. You can see how they kind of give you a thing that you can turn on its side and squeeze it. You know, you're probably going to spill a lot more that way. This way, you're hardly going to spill any at all. So, good thing to have. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have our tube in the hole, and now we're going to pump it up. Pump it up. Just keep pumping until you can't pump no more, and then the fluid oozes out. We have filled to the point of eruption, so now we will stop, clean it up, and put the fill plug back in. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, 44 pounds of torque for both of the plugs. Now this is for a 200mm differential. It's measured in millimeters because these are built in Germany and they use the metric system. Okay, So if you have the 215 millimeter differential, you're going to want 37 foot-pounds of torque. And then if you have something a different size, you're going to want to check with that manufacturer to make sure. If you have 200, 44 foot-pounds. 215, 37. Eureka. Make sure you torque both plugs and put Humpty Dumpty back together again, and you're done. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see more, just subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace. P.S. You're gonna need 2 of these if you're buying the same oil, the Max Purple, and the reason is because it's 1.5 liters to fill the 200 millimeter rear differential. If you have a 215 millimeter, then you're gonna need about the same. It's like 1.3 liters, and you'll be good to go. So just buy 2 of these if you're getting the same thing. Also, limited slip additive, you can put that in there. You won't need as much, but I've heard a lot of reports that with this you don't need limited slip additive, so we're going to try it out. If it's not working good, then I'll have to go back and drain a little bit out and put some limited slip in there, but I think this is going to work out pretty good. That Mopar would be the go-to brand in my opinion for the limited slip additive. Alright guys, see you later.